Hello, everybody. Sunday Adelaja here, and we are continuing with our series on leadership. And to this aspect of leadership that we're talking about is self-leadership. So please go and share the message. Share the message with your friends and family members, and we are ready to go. So share and tag as many people as you can. And the topic is self-leadership is self-management. Self-leadership is self-management. Self-leadership equals self-management. So when we're talking about self-leadership, what we're really talking about is self-management. So think about the idea of management. Managing something is keeping the thing going and keeping everything in their right place and in the right order. So for you to be able to lead yourself and to be able to even lead your own life, talk less of leading other people, management is one of the most important things that we'll need to consider. So self-leadership equals self-management. What we will say self-management is? Self-management is when you are able to make sure that you know everything in your own life. You know, you put them in the place that they belong. You put them in the place that they belong. It brings order. You have order in your own life. But, well, that order has to start from within you. Self-management has to start from the management of your thoughts, the management of your mind. So what do we mean by that? First of all, you know, all of us, the way we are made is that thoughts come and go, flying in and out of each one of us on a daily basis. I mean, every second, we have thoughts coming in and out. And I think there is a statistic that says, is it 60,000 thoughts we have in a day? Or I think women have more than that, 120,000 or something. So, you know, we have thousands of thoughts that come in and out of our mind that sometimes we are not even in charge of them. So for you to be able to have self-management, to be able to manage your life, you've got to be the Lord over your thoughts. Your thoughts. It starts with your thoughts. And that means that you've got to put structure in your mind. You've got to put structure in your thinking process. And you've got to put structure and boundaries around what comes to your head. For example, if I take a decision not to think about something that is destructive to me, like, let's say I am from Nigeria, so I worry a lot about Nigeria, political situation. You know, I've discovered that is destructive, and I don't want to be worrying so much about the political situation in Nigeria. So what I do is that I can actually any one of us can do this. You can take the decision that I don't want to think about Nigerian politics anymore. I don't want to even think about it. I don't want to think about Nigerian political situation. You know, I refuse to think. So if you take that decision that you refuse to think, you don't want to think, you are in charge. You are in control. That is part of self-management that we are talking about. You are self-managing your mind. You are trying to put order in your mind. So in that same way, you could come to a place and say, okay, let's say you had a divorce and you had a wife or a husband that the relationship was killing you. And now you are divorced or you are not divorced, but you know that this relationship is killing me. So what you need to first of all learn to do is to put control over your mind in regards to that relationship. That is, you have the power to take the decision and say, okay, I'm not going to think about this relationship right now. I'm just going to lock it out. I'm just going to block it. Now, it's not the same as being, as hiding from the problem or running away from the problem. No. This is just management. You will come back to it at the right time. You will come back to it when you are ready. But right now, it's killing you. And because it's killing you right now, you want to, first of all, get it out of your head. Because if you don't get it out of your head, it's oppressing you, it's disturbing you, it's torturing you, it's oppressing you, and you are not going to be able to function. So these two questions, the problems in Nigeria, the politics, and your family situation, and they are all there. And you need to take care of your children, you need to go and work, you need to do a lot of other things that you need to do in life. But because you are totally overwhelmed by this struggle, by these thoughts of what's happening in your house or what's happening in your country, then you are put down, you are oppressed, you are incapacitated, you are rendered crippled, you are rendered, you are helpless just because you are not in the position to do what you need to do. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you being able to say, okay, I'm going to manage this situation. And by managing the situation, you've got to find the crisis areas, the volatile situation, the toxic situations, and isolate them. You want to isolate the toxic situation. So if the toxic situation in this situation is the situation with your husband or with your country, isolate them first. And then start by putting order on the ones that you can control. So what I'm trying to say is that self-management of your mind is under your power, is under your control. You can control it. So, for example, I think I have a message about that, I'm not sure, but I have a teaching on how I've been able to put order in my thinking process. So what I've done is I've chosen 5 topics, 5 areas of life that I allow myself to think on. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't ever think about any other thing. No, of course, other thoughts are coming and that they are fighting their way inside all the time. But the decision I've made that I only think about these 5 other things, it means that I'm making effort to manage my mind. And by managing my mind, I will be able to manage my life. So by just indicating that these 5 things are the things that I will think about, that means that I will not consciously spend my time thinking on any other thing apart from these things, apart from these 5 things. But apart from consciously thinking, there are a lot of things that we do unconsciously. So especially thoughts. Thoughts come to you without even you planning to have them. All right. So, but when you put order like that, when you have put boundaries like this, and you know that these are my priority things that I want to deliberate about, I want to think about, at least it reduces the effect and the dominion of all these other thoughts that are destructive to you, that you don't want right now. That your decision, that your border that you have put, that the boundary that you have put, that makes you to be on top of the situation. And management is what we are talking about. Management is you being on top of the situation. Management is about you knowing and being in charge of what is happening, knowing that this is lying here, this is lying here, this is lying here, this is lying here, knowing what is where and what they are supposed to do. So self-management, which must always start with mind management. You must start your self-management by managing your mind, managing your thoughts, managing and controlling the thoughts that you have and saying, okay, this I'm not going to think about, this I'm going to think about. That's basically what I've done. I'm not going to think about the marriage that is destroying me. I'm not going to think about the political situation in my country that is destroying me. I don't even need them, so I block them off. I'm going to think about only these things that lead me, that build me up, that help me, that make me to do the right thing that I want to do, that lead me to my goals, that lead me to my purpose, the things that are that are constructive to me, that I need right now. So that is management right there. That is an example of management. You decide. But lack of management is when everything is just chaotic. Everything, all the thoughts just come, and you cannot even discern and know where they're coming from, what's happening next, what's going to happen to me. And those lack of management of your thoughts, they bring panic, they bring fear, they bring anxiety, they bring worries, and they just make your whole life a mess. So self-management will have to start with mind management. Decide for yourself, what are your priorities? What are the things that you want to think about? And what are the things that you think you shouldn't even think about? So once you decide those things, but don't make the things that you want to think about, don't make them too long. Maybe 2 things or 3 things. Maybe God and everything that relates to God, and maybe your family or your goals or your purpose or your job. Just take some of those 2, 3 things and zero in on them. So anything that is not relating to these things, I am not going to entertain them in my life. Now, unfortunately though, the world that we are living in is full of pressure. So much pressure coming on our way and coming to us in form of social media, articles and rumors and news, and so much news, so much information flying about. So it's difficult for you to really say, I will not think about something. But, at least you can put order, at least you can decide, at least you can be aware of what you want and what you don't want. And one of the things that will really save you from a lot of troubles is for you to just say, these things I will never do that. I don't want them. Like, for example, at a point, I came to the conclusion that I don't want to watch movies anymore. I only watch documentaries. You know what? It saved me from a lot of troubles. At a point, I came to the conclusion that I would not read all these magazines, all these social magazines, all these, show magazines and all this news information about Nollywood, Hollywood. No gossips, finish. Just living for purpose, just facing my own business. That simple decision, as simple as it sounds, will save you from a whole lot of mess, and it will make you to live a purposeful life, because that is called management. So management is when you're able to say, I don't watch this, I don't read this, I don't go there, I don't go to parties, I don't go visiting, I don't go, friend. I'm too busy. I live for days. That is management right there. When you are able to get that in place in your life, you discover that no, life is not so difficult as you thought it is. And there is direction in your life. There is purpose. There is order. There is organization. That's how life must be. Life must be managed. Self-leadership starts with management, and self-management starts with thought management. So to manage your life, you must manage your thoughts. To manage your life, you must manage your thoughts. So if a leader cannot manage himself, and like I said, I started with thoughts, so you might be able to say, okay, my priority that I want to think about and I want to deal with is my family. So for example, let me just tell you my own example of how I do the family thing. I must spend at least 1 hour with Pastor Bosse every day. Okay? Then I must spend time with the children when I'm answering their questions and when I'm also impacting values to them. Okay, so we meet for at least half an hour and we discuss values. So as simple as that is, spend 1 hour, just sit down and talk. Then here, just 30 minutes and share values. That will save you from a lot of problems. But that time that you are using to do that, you have to block out something else. So that also means management. But because you have blocked out those things, you are at peace. And because you put this in order, because management is also predictability. Management is supposed to give you predictability, which means you know what to expect. So you know that every day I'm spending time at least 1 hour with my wife. And then every day I'm spending at least 30 minutes with the kids. Okay, if you cannot make it every day because you work, you do this, let's say 3 times a week. You do this with your wife. 3 times a week, you do this with your children. Just order, management. And the same thing with the things that you neglect at that point. You don't neglect, that you block out. When you block those things out, you at least have order. You know that, okay, there are many things to attend to, but this time I am only doing this. This is also the same way. This is also the same way you could bring self-management to your life through self-education. So, you know, you could also, like in my case, I said I must read or study at least for 3 hours a day. I must put information into myself for at least 3 hours a day. So either I'm reading or I'm listening or I am, you know, doing something that is going to be like in the area of self-improvement, self-education for 3 hours a day. So when you have that, and so that also is order. So you know exactly where what lies. You know, this one is here, this one is here, this one is here, this one is here. Those are the things I'm doing. Those are my priorities. My self-education, my family, my relationship with God, you know, or my ministry, or my relationship with people, or my job. You must know what you want to allow in your life. First of all, sit down, make plans for them. So by making that plan and by bringing order and management like that, you have just resolved the problem of priorities, and you have just resolved the problem of distractions. Because if you follow your own order, which is not always easy to do, and which will not always work out, but at least you have the reason for management sometimes is not that everything has to work out perfectly, but the management, what it does for you is that at least it gives you direction. At least it, okay, for example, if you say this must be here, this must be here, this must be here, this must be here, sometimes somebody will come and move it, or something could be moved, but at least you know where it belongs. So even if it's shifted or moved, you can always return them back to places. So, you know, there is always a good benefit in you trying to manage your life by managing your thoughts and by putting order in everything that you do. Because a leader that cannot manage himself, you will not be able to manage other people. If you cannot manage yourself, you won't be able to successfully manage your affairs. You won't be able to, if you don't manage your mind, you will not be able to manage your life. If you don't manage your life, you will not be able to manage your home, your affairs, your business, your ministry, everything that you need to do. You will not be able to manage your life, your affairs, if you don't manage your mind. And if you don't manage yourself, you will not be able to manage the people that are around you, or the people that surround you, or the people that depend on you. Because you cannot take, the one thing is that none of us can give to others what we don't have. So for you to be able to teach others how to manage, you must have gone through that, because you will not know what to say. You cannot give to others what you don't have. And if you try to teach others what you don't do, then others will just come out one day and discover that, oh, you don't even do these things. So we can only give to others what we have. You can, if you don't practice self-management, if you don't manage your own affairs, your own life, then you will not be able to lead others in that sense. You will not be able to give leadership to other people. You cannot go further than, you cannot lead other people further than you have gone. You cannot lead other people in the direction that you had not been to before. Otherwise, you get lost, and you'll be making other people get lost as well. So, self-management is a key to leadership. So self-management is a key to self-leadership as well. So you are not going to be successful as a self-leader, and you're not going to be successful as a leader at all if you don't master self-management. And of course, self-management also is connected with time. So two things will help you to really deal with to manage self very well: thought management, and time management. when I talk about time management, I'm talking about building your life around time. So you know that you have a day, so you have to now decide what are the priorities. You remember you have decided in your mind that you have and these are the things I'm thinking about. So and I have only 28 hours, so it's basically, or 16 hours or 24 hours. So then you have to give that time. You have to distribute that time you have according to those priorities that you have. So you break down your hours, the available hours you have for yourself, according to the priorities that you yourself have decided that you want to do. So time is also important, because if you don't break down that time, for example, for my wife is this 1 hour here, and for my son or for my children is this 1 hour here, and then for my ministry is this 1 hour here. For my life, you will not be able to do things. A lot of people have wondered, how come I've been able to do this, my live broadcast, on a daily basis, like for 2 years now. Well, and I go to court, I do all kind of things, I do self-education, I'm married, I have children, I have church, I have pastors, I have all kind of things that I still need to attend to. But you know what? If you are able to manage your time and put time and distribute time according to your priorities, if you say, okay, these are the things that I've decided to do, and you break down the time and give each time some hours like that, you will always be fine, no matter how much pressure is coming on. If you can manage your time and manage your thoughts and manage your priorities, self-management will be a reality to you. So to conquer the earth, we must learn to start by conquering ourselves. We too are the earth, the first earth that you need to, because we are made from the earth, right? We are made from the dust of the earth. So since we are made from the dust of the earth, and we are called to conquer the earth, guess which earth we need to conquer first? It has to be this earth, this dust. The earth is big, but I have the earth in me too. I carry the earth about. So if I could manage this earth very well, then this earth that is organized, that is well managed, well supervised, will now be able to manage the bigger earth. So to conquer the earth, you need to conquer yourself. What that means is that you need to make sure that your flesh is not what is controlling you. Your carnal nature is not what is controlling you. Your priority should be controlling you. Your spirit man should be controlling you. Your desires and your emotions shouldn't be the things that are controlling you. Your principles, your priorities should be the things that are controlling you. So self-management and self-leadership is this skill and ability to make sure that your decisions, your value systems, your principles are the ones taking decisions. You are doing what your principles want. You are doing and acting in accordance to your principles and to your values, so that it is not your emotions, your will, your feelings, your desires, the things that are happening around you. They are not the things that are pushing you to do what you do. Okay, for example, let's say I discovered that only 10 people watch my program. If I am not careful, if I don't have self-management, I could say, oh, well, that means people don't want to listen to me, so I stop doing live broadcasts. If I have to stop doing live broadcasts, it has to be because that is what I feel God is saying, or that's what I feel from my heart that God wants me to do. But if I just stop it because of my ego, that is, I feel offended, or I feel angry, or I feel dissatisfied, that means this earth is dominating me, it's having control over me. So what I should do is that I should say, no, the decision has been taken that I'm doing this live broadcast every day, and it doesn't matter, what I feel about it. Either I'm going to be praised or I'm going to be abused. I am going to do what I need to do. Or maybe you have a lot of people criticizing you, coming to say negative things about you, and you get mad and you say, oh, I'm trying to help these people and they are not even appreciating it. So that if you do that and you stop doing what you needed to do, that means you are still under that dominion of the flesh, of your earth. So you need to conquer this earth, this your flesh, for you to be able to now continue doing the broadcast. So what I mean is, for you to conquer the earth, because the broadcast will help you to conquer the earth, you have to conquer all the feelings and the emotions and the controversies that are coming from your flesh, from your emotions. Once you conquer that, then you'll be able to go ahead and do what you needed to do. That's how you now conquer the earth. But if you don't conquer these controversies here and these discomforts here, that is management. So if you conquer that, then you'll be able to go further. So you cannot take other people to where you have not been, and you cannot go further than, you cannot lead other people further than where you have been yourself. And you will not be able to manage others when you have not been able to manage yourself. So this is what we are talking about, self-management. This is what self-management is. Self-management helps you to be able to control yourself so that you'll be able to take others to and be able to lead others successfully as well. Let me show you one scripture before I go. Proverbs 19:11. Let me see. Proverbs 19:11 says, the discretion of a man, the understanding, the discernment of a man makes him slow to anger. Okay, so like I said, somebody comes to to write all the abusive stuff, and I get angry and I said, I'm no more doing it. Okay, who loses? I mean, I'm no more doing it. That means I remove my platform of influencing the world. So because I've not been able to control that anger, no self-management, I've lost the platform to be able to control the world, to be able to conquer the world, to be able to influence the world. Because I've not been able to manage myself, I couldn't manage the world. Because I've not been able to conquer myself, I cannot conquer the world. So all these things start with self-management. So he said the discretion of a man makes him slow to anger, and his glory is to overlook a transgression. You see, a lot of people are going to offend us in life. But when you have self-management, you will overlook a lot of transgressions. But if you don't have self-management, people just offend you, they make you to change your principles, to stop doing what you are supposed to do, or to do things against your values. And because you cannot overlook transgression, you lose your glory. You see what it says there? And the glory is to overlook transgression. So those people who cannot forgive and overlook some offenses, you lose glory, because somebody comes to offend you, you give up everything, you lose your glory that continuing that thing would have given you. Or somebody comes to attack you, you begin to attack them back, you lose your glory, because everybody say, oh, he's just like that. When you are able to, the ability to overlook offense preserves your glory and gives you glory. So, and how will you be able to overlook anger, offense, if you don't have, if you don't have that self-management? That self-management is what helps you to overlook offenses. And when you overlook offenses, you preserve your glory. You continue doing what you're doing, and you'll be able to get the glory that is meant for you in the first place. So that's a very powerful scripture. This Proverbs 19:11. The discretion of a man makes him slow to anger, and his glory, the glory of that man, is to overlook transgression. So if you are not good in overlooking transgression, you'll be losing a lot. You'll be losing a lot of glory. And but if you are able to overlook transgression and do what is right, so transgression here, it stands for like emotions, or the kind of anger, or all the things that will come to disrupt you, things that stand on your way, your flesh, but when you conquer your flesh, then you will be able to get your glory. Well, I think the topic of today, leadership, is self-management. I think I try to do justice to it. I hope I did justice to it. But I'll continue tomorrow. And so please go ahead and share this message with as many people as possible. Share the message with your friends and family members. Share. And as you share the message, please go ahead also, if you have not yet joined the mentorship program, go ahead and join the mentorship program, which is on sundayadelajablog.com/mentorship. sundayadelajablog.com/mentorship. If you also want to be receiving our messages every day on WhatsApp, just send us your WhatsApp number. Send up the WhatsApp numbers of all your family members, and we'll be sending them these messages on daily basis every day. So our telephone number here is, or our WhatsApp number is +38 098 596 3838. So thank you so much, and please go share the message. And if you want to get my books, you can read them for free on Kindle Unlimited or buy them on Amazon. But if you want to buy many and you want to buy them cheaper than on Amazon, write to dssbooks@gmail.com. dssbooks@gmail.com. DSAS one word, @gmail.com. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.